Buying your first home at 35 plus, you are not behind. You are strategic. Everyone says you should buy at 25. I disagree. My most successful first-time home buyers are in their 30s and 40s. And here is why waiting must be the smartest move you ever made. Hi there. I am Gurfinkel, Senior Loan Officer with 30 years of experience and over 2,000 families served over my lifetime. And if you're sitting here thinking you're behind because you haven't bought a house yet, I'm about to flip the script completely. Just last month, I closed on a gorgeous home for Jennifer. She's 38, a marketing director, and she just bought her first home. Not only did she get a better rate than most 25-year-olds, she got a house that's actually an investment, not just a place to crash. And she did it with confidence, clarity, and a strategy that younger buyers simply don't have. Now, don't like or subscribe until you get to the end of this video, because I want you to get the full picture of why being a mature first-time buyer is actually your secret weapon in today's market. Why older first-time home buyers are my favorites? Let me tell you something. When a 38-year-old walks into my office versus a 25-year-old, I already know who's going to have the smoother transaction. And it is not because I don't like young people. Hell, I love helping everyone achieve. As a matter of fact, my youngest home buyer over my career was actually 18. And yes, I would absolutely love for my 20-something kids to buy their first home right now too. But mature first-time home buyers, you guys come prepared. Here's what you bring to the table that younger buyers just don't have. First, your credit is established. You've had credit cards for 10, 15 plus years. You've paid off car loans, maybe student loans. Your credit score isn't some mystery number. It is freaking solid. It's proven and it gets you better rates. Second, your income is at this point typically rather stable. You're not job hopping every 2 years trying to figure out your career or your next move or what you like or don't like. You've got a track record. You've got raises. You've got bonuses. Lenders love that stability. Jennifer, I mentioned, she's been at her company for 8 years with consistent raises. That's gold to an underwriter. Third, and this is huge, you know what you want. You're not buying another home you'll outgrow in 3 years. You're buying strategically. You understand neighborhoods. You research schools even if you don't have kids yet. You think about resale value. That's not being picky. That is being smart. First-time homebuyer programs do not expire at 30. Here is something that blows people's minds. There is no age limit on first-time homebuyer programs. None. You could be 45 and still qualify for every single first-time homebuyer benefit out there. FHA loans, available. VA loans, if you're a veteran, available. State and local government down payment assistance programs, most of them are available. The only requirement is that you haven't owned a home in the past 3 years and that possibly you have an income limit to stay under if you're shooting for the government or local municipality down payment assistance programs. But here is where it gets even better for you mature buyers. You actually qualify for more programs. Some down payment assistance programs are specifically designed for professionals, for people with established careers, for buyers in certain income brackets that, frankly, most 25-year-olds haven't reached yet. I just helped a 42-year-old teacher access a program that gave her up to $15,000 towards her down payment and closing costs. Why? Because she was an educator with 10 plus years of experience. That program wasn't available to new teachers. It was specifically for established professionals like her. And let's talk about something else. You're not scrambling to qualify. Younger buyers are often stretching to meet minimum requirements. You're probably overqualified for most programs, which means better rates, better terms, and more negotiating power. Your down payment advantage? But Ella, I feel like I should have more saved by now. Stop it right there, okay? Stop. You probably have more options for your down payment than you realize, and definitely more than younger buyers. First, you likely got retirement accounts, 401ks, IRAs that you can borrow from. And before you panic about touching your retirement, remember, you are borrowing from yourself. paying yourself back and using it to build equity instead of paying rent. This is not robbing your future. This is investing in it and getting creative about that investment. Second, you've got established relationships. Family members who might gift you money, friends who've been through this process, professional networks that can provide guidance. Jennifer got a gift from her parents, not because she couldn't afford it herself, but because they wanted to help her get into a better house sooner. Third, you've got assets. Maybe you've got stocks, bonds, savings accounts that have been growing for years. Younger buyers are starting from zero. You are starting from a position of strength. Oh, and let's not forget, so many 30-somethings right now have also money invested in crypto. And the feds just opened up using crypto as a down payment for your house. Yes, there are some hoops to jump through. However, you're more likely to have more in your crypto account in your 30s than in your 20s. So here's the kicker. You understand the math. You are not just looking at monthly payments. You are looking at total cost of ownership, tax benefits, equity building. You're making an investment decision, not an emotional purchase. The investment mindset advantage. This is where mature first-time buyers absolutely crush it. If you understand that a house isn't just shelter, it's wealth building. That changes everything about how you approach the purchase. Younger buyers often buy the cheapest thing they can qualify for in the coolest neighborhood. You are looking at appreciation potential, rental income possibilities, tax advantages. You're thinking about where you want to be in 10 years, not just where you want to live next year. I had a client, David, 41 years old, who bought a duplex as his first home. He lives on one side, rents out the other. His tenant is literally paying most of his mortgage. In 5 years, he'll have significant equity and rental income history. Try explaining that strategy to a 25-year-old. I'm not knocking down 25-year-olds. You know that tying up all your cash in down payment might not be the smartest move. You're comfortable with strategic debt because you understand that a 6% mortgage when you can earn 8% in investments is actually smart money management. And let's be honest, you're not going to get house poor. You've lived long enough to know what your real expenses are. Your budget for maintenance, repairs, property taxes. You're not going to buy a house and then realize you can't afford furniture. Why lenders love mature first-time home buyers from a lender's perspective. And I've been doing this for 30 years. Mature first-time home buyers are dream clients. Here is why. Your debt-to-income ratios are usually excellent. You've paid off student loans, most likely. You're not carrying massive credit card debt. You've got established spending patterns. And underwriters look at your file and see stability. Your employment history, solid. No gaps, no job hopping, consistent income growth. Even if you change jobs, it's usually for advancement, not because you're figuring out your career. You ask the right questions. You understand PMI. You want to know about rate locks. You research different loan programs. You're not just signing papers, you're making informed decisions. And honestly, you're less likely to default. You've got emergency funds. You understand the commitment you're making. You thought through worst case scenarios. That's exactly the kind of borrower every lender wants. Well, let me tell you about Michael. 44, never owned a home, thought he was too old to start. Software engineer, great income, excellent credit, but convinced he'd missed his window. We found him a beautiful townhome in an up-and-coming neighborhood, put down 10%, got a fantastic rate because of his credit score, and his monthly payment was less than his rent. But here's the best part. He bought in an area that's gentrifying. His home has already appreciated 15% in 18 months. Could a 25-year-old have made that same strategic decision? Maybe. I've seen some, but Michael had the life experience to recognize the opportunity, the financial stability to act on it, and the patience to buy the right house instead of the first house he could afford. Listen, if you're in your 30s, 40s, or even beyond, and you haven't bought a home yet, you're not behind. You are strategic. You've built a financial foundation, the credit history, and life experience that makes you an ideal home buyer. Mature first-time home buyers are my favorite clients. You know what you want and can qualify for better rates. You're not buying a starter home that you'll outgrow. You're making an investment in your future. And frankly, you make my job easier because you understand the process and you ask intelligent questions. Here's what I want you to do. Stop thinking you are late to the party and start thinking about the advantages that you bring. Better credit, stable income, clear goals, and the wisdom to make smart decisions. Book a consultation with me. It's absolutely free. We'll look at your specific situation and I'll show you exactly what you qualify for. And I'll guarantee you'll be surprised by how strong your position actually is. Because here is the truth. There is no perfect age to buy your first home, but there is a perfect time. And that's when you're financially ready. You're emotionally ready and working with someone who understands that your timeline is your timeline. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. Same goes for homeownership. If this video changed your perspective on being a late first-time buyer, smash that like button. Subscribe for more real talk about mortgages and comment below with your age and what's been holding you back from buying. I read every comment and I will personally help you see why your age might actually be your biggest advantage. Let's get you into your first home at exactly the right time for you. I'll see you in the next one.